So alongside me is Norman Shute. I've travelled over to Stockton, very posh premises. Where is it we are again?
We're at the head office for Unitel Direct. We're a marketing company, obviously web designers, and this is our head office.
So you must be a clever lad then if you're involved in...
I wouldn't have said I'm clever, Bernie, to be honest with you.
Well, next to me, yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in Birmingham as a youngster.
Yeah.
What was your ambition as a youngster?
As a youngster, dear me.
We've all got ambitions as kids.
I think in junior school, I was always I loved sports day, you know, and all the lads there had these spikes, and I had a pair of these, what I called Woolies black plimsolls, you know.
Yeah.
And I ran at Clareville as a young kid, about 7-year-old, and I won at Clareville Stadium, which is now a housing estate opposite the park.
I know you are,
and I remember thinking, I want to be an athlete. I like this athletic side of things.
Did you see something on the telly?
Yeah. At the time, I mean, we just had like 1978 Commonwealth Games and people like Alan Wells, good guy. And I started following him, and then he won in Moscow the Olympic gold, and I was right into it. Got me right hooked, and then from there things just developed. Where I ran for my school, and I ran for the county, and then took away to run at a different.
Were you not interested in football?
Yeah. I love football.
But not a Middlesbrough fan, is it?
Yeah, I do like the Borough. I mean, you always follow your home-sake team, don't you? So I am a fan. I do like this. I see them when I can. But I think with myself, obviously, athletics was my main sport, and I used to play on the wing for my team when I was at Brunner, country secondary school in Billingham. But Bernie, I would get kicked all over. You know, I'd get the ball. I'd only be on the pitch 5 minutes and somebody would break my leg, you know, a bit of speed. Bit like Ripley. Yeah, a bit like Ripley. Yeah. Once ran against Stuart Ripley on the Forum car park, and we were on the sauna one day. You and Pally are on the sauna, and Ripley's come out with a towel, and we had a race around the Forum car park. You won't remember that, but yeah.
Yeah, we did go to the Forum, yeah.
Forum, 1986, 87.
Wow.
There we are.
Good memory, you. You used to compete for the Belgrave Harriers. Where were they based?
Belgrave?
How did you get involved?
How did I get involved with Belgrave? Well, there wasn't a load of money in athletics. It's not like there was no lottery, there was not a lot of funding at the time. And I was sponsored by Adidas. They provided me kit, but obviously no cash. Now they're on fortunes of cash, aren't they, people know? And a guy from London, a Greek guy actually, called Eddie Koulakundis. He's Koulakundis. You wouldn't say that when you with a drink, would you? But his wife was an actress, Susan Hampshire. Right. She was out a thing called the Forsyth Saga that a lot of the older folk remember. And he was my sponsor. He had a big overseas shipping company, Greeks, and he was chairman of a club called Belgrave Harriers. His main thing he loved was athletics. He used to go all over the world watching Olympics. Big guy were. And he invited myself and my dad down to London and met him at the Savoy. And he said to me, "Look, I'm gonna make sure that you're there. I'm gonna cover everything you need. I'll look after you, go on and warm weather training." And he was an absolute legend to me. I'd go to America. He'd pay for me to go to Portugal, so all my training was all paid. An absolute legend he was. And he said, "There's a condition though."
There's always something.
Yeah, I said, "Go on." He said, "I want you to compete for Belgrave." They're obviously based in London, Belgravia.
Oh, that's why I asked you.
And a lot of the top athletes were there. There was a lad at the time called John Regis. You would know his uncle Cyril. And me and John were 1 and 2 sprinters, 100 metre, 200 metre sprinters there. And I had a great, about 4 years down in
How old were you then when you started?
I had my 21st birthday down there. I remember I was 21 and celebrated that in London with them. So I'd been 21 up to about 24-year-old. So I had a few years down there. And it was fab. But obviously I'd been used to running up at Clareville. You'd run in a relay where you take off and a lad would put the baton in your hand. I'm now running with guys who are built like tanks and only take my hand off when they put the baton in it. So things changed. I used to travel down with my dad on a Thursday, come back home on a Sunday.
How did you enjoy life in the big smoke?
It was okay. I mean, obviously, I was young, and I think I was a bit taken in by it all. I used to stop in. I used to stop in. Where did we stay? I think we stayed in Norwood near Crystal Palace. Right. One of the guys used to put me up there. But yeah, they were good days.
Because I remember coming off the train at Middlesbrough, and I was 24.
Yeah.
I thought I'd landed in the moon. Towers, small prostitute. I thought, what is this?
Yeah.
Rain, drizzly. It was winter time.
Bongo Club.
Claude Bongo, I wasn't going to miss. Great Britain Junior team sprinter. How big an accolade was that?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, we got to travel everywhere. In that particular squad, I was a member of the relay. There were some really fast lads about at that time.
Tell us some of them. The ones we know.
Yeah, I mean, John Regis was our top guy. Yeah. Marcus Adam went on to win the Commonwealth Games. Right. We had people like Colin Jackson that I keep in touch with. Yeah. Does a lot of TV stuff now. Yeah. Colin was a rapid lad. He was my teammate, my roommate on that team.
Was a good roommate, tidy roommate.
It's very tidy roommate, Colin. Immaculate, OCD.
I've had a few teammates. Roommates.
Dear me.
Pro athlete, Team GB, 87.
Yeah, again, back in the days though, where there wasn't a lot of funding, you know, this.
It was something like football.
Yeah, you know, people sort of think you should have some sort of fancy, but I did it because I loved it. Yeah. You know, I got some nice memories from it. I can look now when I see athletes running now that fathers and wives were running when I was doing it. You know, it's unbelievable. But yeah, things have moved on. You know, tracks have moved on, training, coaching, everything's moved on. Yeah, it's like football, isn't it? If we go back to when you were playing, boots have moved on, training methods have moved on.
For the better? In some quarters?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I mean,
you're not convinced over it?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I mean, I think that now, especially with Team Great Britain, a lot of what's going on, I think it's quite political. I think that we have some amazing athletes who should be performing, who are maybe being held back a little bit. Yeah. It's sometimes not what you know. It's who coaches you, but I'm sure that's the same with a lot of things. Isn't it?
Your career came in an abrupt end. What was the problem? How old were you?
I was 23, 22, 23 with the Commonwealth team from Scotland, because obviously being born.
Yeah, I heard Scottish.
Yeah, my family all live in Tane, which is right at the top above Inverness. My father was from Billingham.
Are they the lads that chase the sheep?
That's them. Right past. A lot of the lads would know Nig Bay, where all the big rigs come into to be repaired. About an hour north from there. So that's where I was always going to. So I qualified to run for the Scottish team. Good times, yeah. But I ruptured it with their Commonwealth Games team, practicing for the relay.
Just for running?
Yeah. And then it's always troubled me right up till about 10 years ago, and I went to a surgeon in Nuffield in Stockton, and he said, "Take your shoes off, let me have a look at your feet." Great guy called Mr. LeMay, fantastic surgeon. He said, "How long have your feet looked like that for?" My partner Louise started laughing. I said, "What do you mean? My feet are all right." But I had a thing called Haglands, which is a lump coming off my Achilles.
Right.
And it was just from years of pounding on my toes. Cause
is that like a bone?
It's a bone, yeah. It's like a sort of like a bone, and there's filed it away. Yeah. I was in cast for, 9 weeks non-weight bearing. Right. About 9 years ago.
So how did you cope on the back of that? Did you know, hey, this is it?
I had an idea, yeah. I mean, it's the weakest part of your body, and I mean, I was just constantly getting cortisones. I was, 25-year-old, I was getting, because I was missing training, at that level, if you miss 6 to 7 weeks of training, you're back nearly a year, aren't you?
Cortisones, for those that don't know, cortisone just disguise the pain, don't they?
Yeah.
To move a bit.
Yeah, and then with compensating the other foot, I was getting like plantar fasciitis in the other foot, and things weren't going good. I continued, but I came out the sport at like probably 26, 27. I just knew that I'd rather come out where I were than struggling.
What did you move into then? Did you get a job? To survive?
Yeah, I mean, I always was. There was a company, a very, very old company from Teesside years ago called Cowies. They were a motor company. And they used to supply me with a motor vehicle, and I was working for them in the motor industry. It was not a bad thing, to be fair.
Car salesman, dodgy car
salesman. Not as such, but I was in that industry, and it was decent. And then I went to work on with the coaching role with O'Leary, which sort of springboarded me to where I am over the last few years. This giving advice to players.
David O'Leary, who's the
I had a rather strange chairman at the football club at the time, a guy called Doug Ellis.
I remember him.
Yeah, lunatic. But looked after us. Everything was fine. I would coach people like Hitzelberger, Hendry for their speed work.
Yeah. I met Henry recently at work again. Doing a bit for Sky at the time.
Yeah, he just works
So the
for Sky.
thing that I looked at, 2014, you sent letters when you got the volunteer.
Yeah.
You sent letters out there.
Letters, no emails, was there?
But I did that.
Yeah.
Well, it was somebody else's idea, but that's how I ended up with Middlesbrough. I sent letters to the Premier League clubs in England and Scotland, but you did likewise for the job.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and
Fella first to reply.
yeah. Well, one of the guys. We go back to my younger days. One of the guys I used to run in that team with was a guy called Adi Mafe, British guy from Nigerian parents, and nice guy. And he was at Chelsea for nearly 14 years. He survived all the managers coming in, and he was their speed coach at Chelsea. So he would come on the pitch at say 2, take some. He's had some great European Cup finals, FA Cup finals. Took part in helping them beat us in '97. So he would coach Chelsea for speed work. Still does. He does one-on-one work with Chelsea now. And obviously, he sort of geared me into saying, look, this is how you get into it. But unfortunately now, a lot of clubs now, they've got sports scientists, they've got this, they've got that, they've got the other.
Psychiatrists, psychologists.
Yeah.
Can you make players, obviously you can, that's why you've got a job, help players get a yard or two quicker?
If you've got the right lad,
I wasn't quick. You mentioned Ripley, I wasn't quick. People say, oh, you caught offside. I used to live on the edge because I didn't have the pace. If I was super quick, I'd have stayed behind the defenders, but I wasn't. I had to gamble. So can you actually...
Yeah, you can. I mean, obviously, if you've got a guy and a girl that can run playing football, and you could probably put maybe a yard to 2 yards on them. So if you're looking now at someone like when we had Traore at the Borough, if I'd have worked, I'm not saying I'm a magic one, but I'd have probably put maybe an extra half a yard to a yard on him. Which
on Traore, he's quick.
Yeah, he's a quick lad. Yeah, he's a quick lad.
So you can do it. Is it something to do with the posture, the run?
It's mainly relaxing, arms, leg cadence, training for it, speed ball work, all the stuff that I did with Alan Wells. In a garage in Edinburgh. Not in one of these fancy gyms, but in the back street of a garage in Edinburgh. Sit-ups, chin-ups, press-ups, running in the dark, wet nights, and that's that sort of stuff sticks with it. And a lot of our top athletes now will do the same sort of routine. It's not all about fancy gyms,
You mentioned Traore. Do you think that was what he's got? It's natural, or do you think he's worked at it? I mean, he looks like a heavyweight champion.
He does. Yeah. I think he's naturally a big lad. His family, he's got a bit of history with his family that's similar build to him.
Because you reckon they never really worked out?
Never worked out, yeah. I get it. Some lads can be like that. They can be like that.
It's sort of having a yard or 2 extra pace, but Traore for me, I think he sort of falls at all the hurdles. Delivery, goals, what he's got with the top teams in the world.
Yeah. Well, we go back to, I think it was 1991. Forgive me, I might not be banging with my year here. And there was an event on at Loughborough, and it was a charity thing down there. You had Martin Afaya, that was a rugby player, and you had Kanchelskis, that was at Man United. And we did 100 metres. It was handicapped, and I started. I think Kanchelskis had about 2 yards on me down at Loughborough at the Henry Ford. Well, it's the university in Leicestershire, isn't it, Loughborough? And I caught up on him, but for 60 metres, I didn't catch up on Kanchelskis. I mean, he was probably at the time the quickest. Probably the quickest in Europe, I would have thought, in the ball. Yeah.
He was a good player.
Fantastic.
He was good. And your profile pic on social media, there's a pic of you with 4 sprinters. Who are the 4? 3 guys alongside you?
There's 3 guys alongside me. That will be John Regis, Cyril's nephew. Yeah, big lad. One of them is Ben Johnson, that was a Canadian, that was sadly...
the drug?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah. There's a lad up there from Edinburgh called Elliot Bunny, Glaswegian lad from Bathgate, and he got a silver in the Seoul Olympics in '88. Yeah, bit of a funny one that, because I remember running in that race at Gateshead in 1988, and I was invited to run there by a guy called Andy Norman, that's at the time was Fatima Whitbread's husband. Sadly passed. Fatima, nice woman, Fatima Whitbread, and she was married to Andy Norman. And he was a promoter for athletics. He would send all the Christies and all the athletes, Carl Lewis, into the country and make sure they were at the right races. He's a top guy, big athletics promoter. And he rang me. I remember this being about, I think it was about early June, rang me up at home in Billingham and he said, look, do you want to run on Friday at Gateshead? And I knew what the lineup, and I thought, not really, you know. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a young lad. I thought I'll have a go. Yeah, I mean, I was okay, but there was no heats or semis. It was just one race. And I remember, obviously, I think I was sixth in it. Daly beat me by about half a yard. Daly Thompson, he's on that picture. He's the one with the guy with he's got like a white vest with yellow on it, Daly Thompson. And I remember queuing up to get our expenses, and the guy gave Daly a cheque, 18 grand. This is 1988, and I thought, well, I've only finished less than half a yard behind me. I must be in for something here. I'll get down Rumbelows, buy myself a new Walkman for trading, and I might get myself some more of this, some other that. And I got my envelope, went under the big stand, got my kit on, opened the envelope, £8.40. So I said that.
80 grand and you 80
I said, Daly, he said, yeah, thing is, he said, shoot, yeah, I put backsides on seats, you don't.
Is that what you say?
Yeah. And
arrogantly or funny?
Quite an arrogant guy.
Arrogant, right.
And I remember, so I went to see this guy called Berwin Price. He was one of the finance sort of people. And, you know, you'd have Claw or Orvet or Cram. He'd obviously sort all your payments money off him. I said, Berwin, have you made a mistake with that? He went, no, it's your taxi. It's your train fare from Billingham to Heworth Metro, and then your taxi from the Metro to the stadium. He said, £8.40. He said, you've got a great future, mind.
Wow.
I was on the floor. Wow. I was on the floor, £8.40.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting undercut at Middlesbrough. I interviewed long jumper Chris Tomlinson not so long ago, and he was damning it, the athletes who fail to compete as men then become transgender. Where do you stand in that?
Times move on, don't they? I think we just got to... I don't really get too involved.
No, it's just that I
think
whatever you say, I'm not going to...
I think...
So if I'm a man,
yeah,
and I've failed in my man, and then I think, you know what, I'm transgender.
It's wrong. To be fair,
I personally think
it shouldn't happen. I mean, we laughed about this. I mean, I was talking to Louise, my partner, we were watching some programme. What was it? It was some programme with Caitlyn Jenner.
Yes.
That was Bruce Jenner. Well, when my sponsor used to send me out to Irvine University, Bruce Jenner was a coach there.
Seriously?
To Irvine, yeah. Now I knew of him very, very well.
Yeah.
But then when you're watching a programme, 30 odd days later, and he's Caitlyn Jenner, you think, have I done something? I missed the boat again here. I got my £8.40 and I've missed the boat doing this. I could have been on the Kardashians, not working for Chris at Unitel, couldn't I? So yeah, Bruce Jenner. Unreal, isn't it?
Oh, it's
unreal.
Hey, look, I'm one of them. If whatever you are, get on with it.
Get on with it.
But in the modern world, for me,
Yeah.
everything's rammed down your throat, and I don't like that.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm vegan. I go about my mates. I would say to people I'm a vegan, but I don't say, don't eat meat. You can sit next to me and eat meat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight with you. That's your prerogative.
That's right.
Your life, you know.
Yeah.
So get on with it, but don't ram it down my throat.
Don't ram it, yeah.
On the subject, Paris 2024. We were talking about the drugs earlier. World athletes. Oh no, sorry, that's wrong. Well, no, cut it. It's live. I've heard you like your music. We'll come back to that as a drug one.
Love a bit of music.
So come on then. Who do you like? Do you like live music?
I love going down to Scarborough. They have an open air theatre there.
We've seen the Cult.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I wanted to go to that, but I did. They were really good. I knew a few people that went to that. So we started going to see. We go to see anything there. I mean, I've seen like Nile Rodgers and Chic there. They smashed the place. Yeah. Seen the Kaiser Chiefs down there. Yeah. I went in the summer to see Sting. Thunder and Lightning. I got right the close. I've always loved the Police. So I thought,
a job there, like
yes, and he made that clear. He said, I remember Sting coming on stage, and he said it's great to be on Scarborough. I used to love coming here as a kid with me mum, and yet the whole crowd took to him, and he just smashed the whole place.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the indie stuff. I like a lot of the stuff, the early Oasis stuff.
Oasis, The Farm,
the Spiral Carpets,
Stone Roses,
the Charlatans. Yeah, love all that.
I love music. Music's number one. Football's dropped to second.
Yeah.
Third. I don't know how you No, I was going back to that question on the subject. I see that Olympic Games in Paris 2024 have banned world athletes, transgender women from female competition. So you answered that sort of before you.
Yeah. I think you've got to be fair with things, haven't you?
Well, you have to be fair to women.
Yeah. Of course you have.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If it was the other way around, that would be still more.
Absolutely.
Modern players obviously train daily. A lot of it's on the training field. The time I met Traore and one or two others were doing this shoot thing, they're all ripped, and they told me that they do as much exercise in the gym as they do in the training ground.
Yeah.
How important is the core?
Very. I mean, for speed work, I mean, I always remember when I was, one of the things O'Leary said, he said, speed is amazing at the club. He said, if I can get someone that can shift, he said, it just wins everything for me. And we had some sharp guys down there, but the big thing they're all doing now, a lot of the football, a lot of the pros, a lot of the academy guys, they're all working on a core, sit-ups, chinnies.
Yeah,
they're not maybe touching weights like they would have done. If they are, they're very, very light weights. But then you've got to look at them as well. A lot of it's just things they're doing at home. They're doing sit-ups. They're doing sort of leg presses. They're just doing half squats. The days are gone when everybody was pumping iron in gyms. They're out running. You're running.
Yeah, we did endurance, long runs, but we didn't do like short. Well, we did the pre-season. Yeah. But weights was never a thing at Middleton when I was there.
No, never. Through the Scotland connection as well, I remember when you were at Maiden Castle once, and Bruce, and obviously being local, the club came to us for your old boss at the time, Bruce Rioch. So I was slightly involved with the club. That would have been, was it 88, 87?
Bruce came in. Yeah. Did you cross swords with Bruce any time?
Yeah.
How did you find him?
Strange. Yeah.
Strange?
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah, he was fine.
I had a few verbals.
Yeah.
I loved and admired him.
Yeah, you'd have him back now, mind. You'd have him there now.
Oh, Bruce was. We nicknamed him Gaddafi.
Did you?
Yeah.
You'd
He's
have
a
him.
dictator.
Yeah.
You did a bit of TV presenting. Do you enjoy that side of things then?
I don't mind it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think the main thing you've got to be able to do, you've got to be able to speak about racing, you've got to be able to speak about football, you've got to speak about athletics. It's nice to have a bit of crack about what's going on out there. And it's nice because when you speak to people, you might speak to a snooker player and he's sat in the West End watching a borough player, a darts player. Everyone loves a bit of sport, don't they? You've got the races, I like to watch maybe Graham Lee ride a winner. It's nice. It's nice to be connected with sport at all levels, and I have a keen interest in what's going on. I like to see local things, whether it's a local athlete, whether it's a local jockey doing well.
That's what I mean. And watch borough. I like local lads.
Local lads.
I know they're all around the world.
Yeah.
I like to see a local
absolutely. Lad. I mean, I'll watch a bit of racing. I'll see maybe Dave Allen that rides for a lad down in York there, ride a win, and lads from Hardwick, I think. You know what I mean? You get a buzz, don't you? See local lads performing.
Yeah. Who's been your favourite athlete of all time?
My favourite athlete of all time?
And my favourite player was
Maradona, yeah. I think my favourite athlete of all time would have been, I looked at Dr. Linford. I mean, we trained quite well together. He came from being just an average athlete to like a world Olympic champion.
Clean, nice guy?
Nice lad. Yeah, proper, really nice guy. Would help you out, would come and speak to you, would come and, if he knew you were in lane 8 on the outside lane and some of the fastest guys in the world were in the centre from you, he could have a bit of chat with you. Oh, young Shute, you'll be all right here, you'll be fine, just get to 60, hang on,
Right.
But still, so he was a top guy, I've had quite a few catch-ups with him. Not recently, but over the years, he's good. He's very, very top guy. Footballers, probably the same as yourself. I think Messi's tremendous.
Oh, Messi.
Messi, Ronaldo. I like them. But I go back. I loved all that stuff that was around my era. People like, people like a lot of the Brazilians at the time.
Oh yeah.
Argentinians. I always remember '78 Kempes.
That's what I was going to say. I've seen Mario Kempes.
Yeah,
96. All through in the final.
Kempes playing Holland and the likes of your Cruyffs and your Beckenbauers.
Yeah.
Not forgetting obviously the Scottish team playing Holland. Gemmell, John Robertson, 3-2. Them were remarkable. I mean, I was a kid, but 78. So for me, Kempes was great. I liked a lot of the Italians, that came through.
I remember Paolo Rossi.
Fab.
I remember watching Paolo Rossi. It was the World Cup.
With the beads in his hair.
There was a panel of he'd been put in prison for dodgy betting or something. And there was a panel, Paddy Crane, there was somebody from Wales, there was Brian Clough, and all of them went against him, says, he's been in the jail for 2 years. He won't be any good. And Clough says, it might be the best thing that happened to him. He scored a hat-trick against Brazil
Unreal.
in those finals.
Yeah.
Big Cloughy was on board.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Recently you were in Glasgow doing a bit for my boyhood heroes.
Yeah, consultative, not, yeah,
Yeah.
like, it's all consultative, just working. I mean, George McNeil, who was their speed coach up there, obviously was my coach.
Right.
So
you go up there and
I would set the plans for George, maybe
Right.
doing like shuttle runs, doing like short work, maybe looking at who's in the next year going to come through, 17, 18-year-old guys coming through. I mean, Harry Kuehl's up there at the minute, ex-Liverpool.
yeah,
Brendan Rodgers up there. Yeah.
Right, is he up there as well?
He's there. Who else is up there at the minute? Strachan's young lads up there. Number 2 up there.
He's there for
Yeah.
a number of years.
They like the pace up there. They do like a pacey athlete
Oh,
to
yeah,
be in the
drink
club.
up
Yeah. So yeah, interesting times.
Talking about drink, I was joking there, I'm teetotal. When you were a young athlete, was there a lot of drinking culture then?
No, there weren't. I mean, obviously, I remember being 21 in London. I was running the next day, and the lads would get us. They bought me a couple of pints, and to be fair, you know, you drink it, and you could only fit up half a pint, and you were battered because you were training that much, you know.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a lot of drink. I think it's a bit more drink now. But
In the athletics. I mean, in football, I think we're more educated because of the foreign influx.
Yeah,
I mean, my day, I used to go in the toilet to do a Jimmy before the game. There'd be smoke billowing there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lads been there smoking. And
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Loved the drink.
Yeah.
But I think it's changed.
Businessmen now, aren't
I think
they?
that's one of the cultures of the foreigners coming over. I think that's played a good part. Part. Drugs are obviously in sport, mentioned earlier. How regular do runners get checked now? Do you know?
A lot, yeah. Blimey, they'll get called, they get checked quite often. It's good. I mean, I've had first-hand experience running against one of the fastest guy in the world ever, Ben Johnson, but he was failed. After he beat me up Gateshead, he failed the drugs test in Seoul about 4 weeks later.
Right.
And I mean, the lad.
Was that called the dirtiest race or something?
Yeah. He ran in the Seoul final, Seoul in Korea, and I remember sitting next to him at Gateshead on what looked like a school bench, you know, that you jump on at school, that you'd sit on for your picture.
Yeah.
And we were sat there, and I'm like, white as ghost, sat there. Mum and Dad's behind me at the stands, the place is packed. And Ben Johnson sat next to me, his hamstrings are hanging down like that, and his arms are out there. You think he was like a heavyweight boxer. And I looked at him, and he looked back at me, white eyes looking at me. I thought, dear God. You know what I mean?
I look at, like you mentioned Ben Johnson, Maradona failed drug test in the football world. You've had Lance Armstrong, who turned out a cheat, Dillian White boxing. We can't stop it, can we?
No, I mean, it's... I'm probably like a lot, but you might watch something, you might think, what's going on there? You'll watch athletes. Even now, I might watch an athlete that's world champion from a year ago that doesn't make the final this year. It makes you think, what's going on there? You know.
Yeah.
If you're world champion one year, you don't get knocked out and you hate the year later.
Yeah.
It's an odd one. But the thing is, you know, I've been to training camps and I've seen people, a lot of the Scandinavians, and they're getting blood transfusions, and you think, we were getting blood transfusions. We were. You know, you're having a drink of water or something to dehydrate. You know, blood, what's it all about? You know?
Yeah, I remember playing the World Cup finals. The Republic were there, and Paul McGrath was definitely one. There was another player too that we all had after the game. I think he played Holland. We all went on the bus, and they had to go to do the urine sample.
Yeah.
We were there for 4 hours.
4 hours, yeah.
They were dehydrated, weren't they? But anyway, they get cleared, so thankfully nothing came of it. When I was younger, I remember watching Seb Coe, Steve Ovett throughout the 80s.
Yeah.
Is there any jobs like that in the modern?
It's getting that. We possibly will have. Yeah. I mean,
I used to love that as a kid. That was one thing that got me attracted to them.
I mean, we've got some great athletes coming through now. I mean, you know, if you look locally, one of the guys from Teesside, Richard, great athlete, now coaching, moving into coaching with the sprinters. So he should develop them, take them to the level that we're used to being at. You know, which is good. We've got Zarnell, lovely lad, nice character. Zarnell Hughes, fastest man in Europe this year.
Right.
British, trains a lot in Jamaica, but he's good. He'll challenge Noah Lyles next year. He's a fast guy. We've got a lot of female, we've got a lot of girls out there, 800 metre runners that's coming on well. So we will get back. But going back to the 80 to 84 when we get gold, silver, bronze, Coe, Ovett, Cram, them days. You know, I can't see them being round the corner. You know,
You mentioned politics at the start. there's loads of politics in now, isn't there?
Yeah.
More than ever.
Yeah.
There's always been politics in sport.
Yeah, of course.
I see it with football.
Yeah.
There's agendas.
That's right. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, some of our. I mean, we just had the World Championships there, and one of our best female 800 metre runners. You know, she wasn't picked. You know, she'd have made the final. She wasn't picked. You know, it's just what's all that about? You know, she got the qualifying time, left out. She's got to pick herself up now, and you know, it's bonkers how it goes. Yeah, it's bonkers. You know, you train all year, whether you're a swimmer, you know, if you're a decathlete, you know, you train and train. You get a qualifying time, you put them on the plane and take them, don't you? You know, it's.
So apart from obviously you've mentioned your job here, what else you do? You're obviously doing bits and bobs, consulting.
I do a lot, yeah. I mean, obviously, I work for Chris. I work for Unitel Direct, so this is my full-time role. You know, it's lovely to have connections, but they can be short-lived. You know, as we know, if a boss employs you, he goes the journey, you're gone with him.
Yeah.
You know, you know, like anyone, I have bills, I have expenses. You can't sort of say, I've got a cracking little gig there in Glasgow. You know, things can be very short-lived. I've been here 8 years, and I have a nice career working here. I love my sport, I love my music, and at the minute I'm healthy. Yeah. You know, do a lot of walking. Still train, I walk. I do about 20,000 steps. I measure it on my iPhone. Right. So I quite often I'll walk in from top end of Billingham. I'll walk home in the night. Lads will beat me during the lift, but I'll walk in rain, hail or shine.
That's good.
You know, I think it's better than going to a gym and going on a treadmill for an hour and paying 50 quid a month to be in there. You know, you might as well just get on the road.
Yeah. Would you like to do a few sessions at Middlesbrough? That's why I hesitate.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, we could do a bit of pace, and I could join them as
yeah. You wouldn't want to do it. You wouldn't want to do it much later than like the next few months, though, would you? Because they need something now, don't they? But
right now, What have you made at the start? Obviously, you're a better lad. What have you made at the start? Obviously, disappointing.
Yeah, it's not the same as what we're seeing last season, is it? But we haven't got the same personnel. No. But it's such a shame when you know we were that far away, weren't we, from going up? But then you look at last season, you look at Coventry last season, you look at ourselves. We didn't start too well, but it's a shame. I mean, I'm a fan of Warnock, to be honest with you.
I liked Warnock.
I don't mind Warnock, and you know Warnock, he wouldn't want any bad to the club. He liked the area, but he must be sat at home laughing now and now. You know, no one's done anything different to what he did here.
No. I mean, Carrick played better football last year. He did. The football that Carrick played, some of the lads I played with, we played in good teams at Middlesbrough. They said it was the best football they've ever seen last year. Yeah. It was. Yeah. I've seen every game. Yeah. I watched the away games on the TV, and I go to every home game. So I was in a position to judge it as well, and we were very, very good in the eye. This year,
no.
Passing movement, we're slow, we're laboured, we're not creating enough, we're not scoring enough, we're conceding too many. Yeah. And we're bottom of the league as it stands today.
The thing is, I speak to people, we've just been having a chat with some of the lads there, and it's early. No, it's not. It's not that early.
No, once there's a gap, I always judge 12, 14 games in, you get a real good idea.
You get a feel.
Where we're heading.
You get a feel for it. Whoever's up there, stay there, don't they? Yeah. Whoever's up there, come the dark nights, tend to stay there, don't they? Yeah. And then the rest, the 5th, 6th can change all the time, but the top two normally pretty glued on come December, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know.
Final question, memorabilia, have you kept anything? A t-shirt, training shoes, a medal, have you kept anything to the past?
Yeah, I have.
Are you a hoarder?
No. My partner's a hoarder, she has everything, but no, I'm not a hoarder. I have some good memories. I have some, I have a lot of good memories.
Norman, thanks very much. Cheers.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. Cheers. We'll turn this